Well, it's been nearly a year since the mass shooting at Bronx Lebanon Hospital. One doctor was killed and 6 other people injured after a former doctor at the hospital opened fire inside the building before turning the gun on himself. After the rampage, officials promised new safety measures, but most have not been installed yet. 7 on Your Side investigative reporter Jim Hoffer joins us now with more on that. Jim.
Well, David, the hospital shooter used his old security badge the day of his rampage. In the aftermath, a promise to quickly install badge identification turnstiles. Just a few weeks away from the anniversary of that deadly day, and doctors and nurses are still waiting for those turnstiles. The death, injuries, and fear caused by a former disgruntled doctor who breezed by security with his old employee badge and an AR-15 still leaves some workers at Bronx Lebanon Hospital uneasy.
It was devastating. It was life-changing.
Delilah Rivera assisted victims in the ER.
It was hard to deal with, but we responded very well. When I say we, I mean everyone.
In the weeks following the mass shooting that killed 1 doctor and wounded 6, the hospital promised tougher security. This memo we obtained from a concerned doctor shows that last August, a hospital vice president in an email to employees wrote that they would soon begin installing badge swipe verification turnstiles for its entrances. The memo stating delivery expected in just 10 to 12 weeks. That was back in August of 2017. Nearly 11 months later, our check of the main entrance of the hospital shows not a single turnstile has been installed. There are security guards checking to see if workers have identification. Often, however, we observed security guards distracted or busy with a visitor, allowing either workers or other visitors to pass through unchecked, such as this woman with a large backpack. It's not foolproof, is it?
No, and guard distraction is always a big concern in our industry.
Edmund Hartnett, former commanding officer of NYPD's Intelligence Division, who now provides security for major businesses, says turnstiles are a big deterrent that are easily installed.
6 to 8 weeks at the most to get, from selection of a vendor and a piece of equipment to installation.
He says considering the active shooter used his old doctor ID badge to get into the hospital makes the absence of turnstiles nearly a year later hard to understand.
A badge of a former employee would activate, and now the turnstile would prohibit entry.
Next month will mark a year since the mass shooting at Bronx Lebanon, and despite promises of quick turnstile installation, there's not a single one in place, nor any sign there will be.
You would have to scan in and out, so you'd know who was in and who was out at what time and what place.
We need some more vigilant, more security.
A hospital spokesman says they have enhanced security since the shooting, introducing new identification cards, additional cameras and monitors, plus safety training. The hospital says that starting in June, security turnstiles will be installed, and that once installed, they will be the only hospital in the city to have them.